Howdy peeps. Welcome back to the PipeCat channel. Nice to see you back. Hope you're enjoying the first of summer. I'm smoking a Corona Cigar Company Nicaraguan Selection 10th Anniversary Candela. Do you know why they call this green cigar Candela? Take a guess. You'd probably be right. I want you to listen to this little public service announcement, which, I'm so famous for doing. Turn on your hate recorder for this one, because this is a fun one that a lot of people like to hate. I thought I'd share it with you just because I haven't had much presence on the web lately. Back about maybe 2 months ago, my somewhat new 2020 Honda CR-V touring model developed a problem with the air conditioner. It was an intermittency with the air conditioner. At first, it wouldn't come on once in a while, and then it would not come on every other time I turned it on. And then eventually, it just kind of stopped turning on, pretty much almost ever. It came on the other day for the first time in 2 weeks. Now when it does turn on, it blows cold air. So it didn't require a charge. That wasn't the problem. It was an electrical problem. I took a look under there. There's a plastic under shielding of the motor that's it's a good cover, and it's kind of a flexible plastic. Anything that hits it will deflect off it. Probably won't crack it very easily. It's almost impossible to get something through it or around it. That in mind, I took a look at the air conditioner compressor, and I noticed that some of the wires on the little contact on the compressor, forgive me, I'm not actually a mechanic or anything, I'm just telling you what I saw. Some of the wires had begun to kind of pull out, and it looks like some of them were almost all the way out. I didn't want to mess with it by trying to plug them back in because couldn't be sure which pin each wire went into. I didn't want to fry anything. So I called the dealership. I've got still half a year of factory warranty on this vehicle. And now, my Candela goes out easily, so it'll probably go out while I'm talking. Well, I called for a service appointment. A young lady answers the phone, asked me what I wanted to have the car checked for. I told her intermittent air conditioning. It's an electrical problem, not a coolant leak, not a gas leak. That special, was it R1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. It's not a gas leak. I said the compressor, when it comes on, still blows cold air, but the compressor doesn't always come on. I see some wires have been kind of shaken loose out of the connector, which is kind of odd, but I just want to have somebody make sure that they reconnect it correctly. And so I'm coming in for a warranty repair. And she said, "Oh, yeah, warranty repair, sure," she says. But I do need to get a commitment from you for X amount of money as a deposit. I said, well, that's fair enough. Who knows? She says, well, you'll get that back. If they do the warranty repair, you'll get it all back. But if it turns out to be something causing this to happen externally, then you'd be responsible, not Honda. And I said, well, if you heard what I said, a couple of the wires were coming loose from the connector. I can see it. I said, otherwise, it looks fine. Just looks like a lot of stress down there and something just moved. She says, well, there's a big problem with these cars. I said, what's the big problem? It's the first I've heard. I know there's a few problems with every car, but with the AC in a Honda CR-V Touring, this new, it's only got 7,700 miles on it. It went out. She says, well, sometimes rocks will hit the air conditioner and knocked the wires out. I said, no, that's impossible. I mean, the shielding is on there really good. Nothing's going to get around that. She says, and if it's not rocks, it's probably rodents. I want you to understand that. I said, rodents? Rodents doing what? Pulling wires out? She goes, well, they like to gnaw on the wires. I said, well, look, I live in a pretty modern apartment building in suburbia here with a great big old paved parking lot. And that I park right in the middle of, and I can't for the life of me ever remember having seen a rodent in the parking lot. Oh, she says, well, be prepared because they like to crawl up inside and nest, and if any wires are in the way, they'll gnaw through them. I said, no. Okay, fine. But these aren't gnawed on. They're just kind of pulled out a little. It looks like the taps or ties, whatever they are that are on them, might have come loose. I said, but it's not chewed on. It's just, loose. I said that it's an intermittency. I just want to make sure that somebody puts the wires back into the right pins on that connector. Because I don't want to trust my eyes to a chart or anything. I mean, it's not my gig, and plus it's under warranty. I said, I'm quite sure this is going to be a warranty repair. She says, okay, well, bring it in, but just be prepared, and we're going to need to secure that deposit from you. I said, okay, but please notate how I reported the problem. Notated, sir. Okay, I'll be there today, actually. Because I made the appointment a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't have anything for 2 whole weeks. So I took a day off of work today so that I could stay with my vehicle. Plus, I didn't have a ride from anybody. So, brought it in there, and the nice boy at the service desk says, oh, wow, this thing's a beauty. It's in great shape. I go, well, it's basically brand new. I mean, it hasn't even broken 8,000 miles yet. He's like, oh, man, those are baby miles. This thing's like brandy new. Look at it. It still smells like a new car, too. It does. I keep it clean. Car's in good shape. So what's the problem? Told him the same thing I told her. And he said to me, yeah, we have to determine that it's not external damage first. I said, well, I think you'll see when you look at it and see the same thing that I saw. It's just some wires that pulled loose from stresses. There's no chewing. There's no scratches, bangs, nothing like that anywhere near it. The little connector on the compressor has vibrated loose. The wires are coming out. I don't know why. I've never seen it happen before, but then again, I've never had to look before. But I'm not a mechanic. I said, you guys take a look at it for me, and I'm quite sure it's going to be a warranty repair. He says, I'm quite sure, no problem. Go wait in the waiting room, and I'll come get you when it's done. I said, okay. So, sitting in the waiting room, some thoughts began to occur to me. Why would the lady who answered the phone go so far out of her way and repeat and repeat and repeat, it's probably a rock, it's probably mice, rats, rodents. And then he said, oh, I'm sure it's probably a warranty repair, but remember, I mean, if it's found to be external, you know where this is going. 2 hours later, the guy comes back in and sits down next to me. 2 hours later. And he says, well, our technician is going to repin the wires back into the connector in the right order. I said, okay, good. I said, you almost done? It's getting late. Oh, it's going to take him a while to do that. The wires are very small. I'm like, okay. All right, so I waited. Another hour goes by. Guy comes out and sits down in the waiting room, about 4 seats away from me. I knew something was coming. Sir, it's external damage. It was hit by a rock, and the connector was destroyed, and we've replaced it, and it's your responsibility. So come on over, we'll cash you out. I said, young man, how much? 360 and change. I said, warranty repair, dude. Warranty repair. Don't make me get ugly. No, our technicians are experts. Are you an expert, sir? Are you an expert? No, but I can see when a wire has been pulled out of a pin without any chew marks on it, or dents or damages or scratches anywhere around it, behind a completely intact, brand new lower engine shield. I can see that. Do you have to be a mechanic to see that? No, sir, but you're not an expert, and neither am I, frankly. I just work the front desk, and this is an external problem, so if you want your car, I'm afraid you're going to have to pay for it. By the short curlies, he led me over to the cashier. I had to walk through a crowd of people waiting in the waiting room, and they're all grumbling about how long everything's taking today. And the guy made a big mistake, and he said to me, yeah, so what we're paying for today is for that connector to have been unmounted, replaced, and put back on. I said, okay, can you tell me why your guy didn't do what you said he was doing 3 hours ago? Pinning the wires back into the existing connector? Can you tell me why? He's like, we don't do that. I said, dude, you told me that's what you were doing. What do you think, I'm making it up? You said the wires were loose. He's going to repin them and send me on my way. That's what you said. Oh, no. There's huge damage down there. I mean, catastrophic. That connector was just smashed to pieces. I said, so the rock got around the intact shield and smashed it to pieces. But when I looked at it, it was brand new except for a couple of wires hanging out of it. You're not a mechanic, sir. I don't know how good of a view you had, but without it being up on a lift, I don't know how you could have seen that. I said, how about driving your front tires up onto a curb and getting underneath the car and looking at it that way, like I did? I could see everything. And I could get past what I was looking through to see what I wanted to see. I could see. He's like, that's not reasonable, sir, and I'm sorry. No, I never told you that we were just going to connect wires again. I said, you absolutely did. And when I raised my voice, every head in the waiting room went. I said, you're lying to me, and you're shystering me out of a warranty repair. And when I saw all the people looking, I said, how many of these other people are being told that whatever's wrong with their car was external damage when they themselves think that it was warranty? And I heard a couple of murmurs out there. Mm-hmm. I said, so you're going to charge me $360? He goes, no, it's $370 and change with tax. I said, to put a couple of wires back into a pin and tell me that the connector is new. It's a new connector. I told you the other one was smashed. I said, I'm afraid it wasn't. But I need my car, so here's your money. I'm taking the car. You know what I got to do, man. You know what I got to do. This is a crime. He's like, oh, don't use words like that, sir. That's just not fair. That's not accurate. I'm like, in your opinion. My opinion, I suspect that it's accurate. Got home. Got on the Honda corporate website. They do have a complaint page. They give you 5,000 characters, of which I used about 4,000. I outlined everything. Didn't want to exaggerate. Didn't put any opinions except for my suspicions. I suspect that these wires vibrated out loosely. I could see it that way. That's what it looked like. There was no damage to the housing of that switch or whatever, connector. I could see nothing like that. But your guy first told me they were just going to reattach a couple of loose wires, and then told me that it was catastrophically smashed and they had to replace it. Took them 3 hours to come up with that, and they charged me almost $400. And I said, I would like a refund, because I think that this is a factory warranty responsibility. And, of course, I didn't have any pictures of it to show them or to attach to my complaint, which is a shame, because they did have a link where you could attach photos. I didn't have any. And I went kind of berserk, but here's the real kicker to the whole story. That's what happened today. As I told you a couple of weeks ago when I called to make the appointment, the receptionist mentioned, this is usually rocks or rodents. And I thought that was so strange that I went and I asked several different, completely unrelated, don't know each other, mechanics, one of whom works in a service desk in the service department of another dealer. Okay? I won't say who. And on that day, I said, what's the likelihood that this is a rock or a rat? He's like, oh, yeah, the rock and rat thing. He goes, you going where, a Honda? I said, yeah, I'm taking my Honda in. He's like, yeah, watch out. They will try to weasel out of that kind of repair. AC is down near the bottom of the engine, he said, and that's where a lot of them, they find excuses that could happen near the bottom of an engine, like animals gnawing on wires or rocks or sticks or something like that. You must have run over something really big, and they're going to tell you that it was smashed or something, but look at it before you bring it in. That's what one guy told me. He said, this is an old story. And I said, well, dude, have you ever been told to do something like that? And he said to me, I don't want to get my dealership in trouble because I need this job, so just take my advice and check for that. Don't let them tell you that. I said, okay. All right. I'll remember. So then I went to the second mechanic that I knew. And I asked him the same question. I said, if some wires came out of, the whole story, the connector, blah, 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 what do you suppose causes it? The question was, isn't there a shield at the bottom of the motor? I said, yeah, it's a big, thick plastic shield. He's like, okay, was it intact? I said, yeah, it's intact. I said, he's like, well, can you see damage, physical damage to it or behind it or anywhere in the wiring? Does it look like it's been smashed loose or any of the ties broken or anything? I said, I don't know about broken ties. I know that the wires are loose. He says, that's nothing. Just push them back in. Because they'll probably just reseat them. I said, will they honor that under a factory warranty? He goes, of course. Of course. How would that be your fault if they vibrated loose or something? He goes, you can't really predict these things. I said, what are the odds that I might be deceived by them? He goes, what do you mean? Like they make up an excuse how it happened and you don't think that's what happened? I go, yeah. He goes, nah. He goes, nah, I don't think that's going to happen. You can trust him. He goes, I'm a technician. I wouldn't lie to somebody like that. I mean, hey, if it's the design flaw or something, it's not your fault. He goes, just make sure you mention that. I said, I will. Oh, I will. Chewed on that for a couple of days. Finally, I went to one last guy, and this guy's a close friend of mine. He doesn't work for a dealership. And I said, what do you think they're going to tell me? He goes, I don't know. I don't trust them. I said, I hate to go into this not trusting them. So I had all that in my mind when I went in there today. And when that guy gave me that story, I had all that I could do to contain my anger. And I said to him, he's handing me the invoice to sign. And I said, you want me to sign this after that cock and bull story you just fed me? You want me to think that, oh no, you were wrong about the wires coming loose? No, actually the thing got smashed to pieces. And then, oh yeah, by the way, no, it wasn't smashed to pieces. The rats ate the wires. That's what it was. So giant rats carrying rocks ate my wires. Smart enough to get around the shield, of course, to do that. I said, you want me to pay for that? He says, well, we did replace that connector. It's not a cheap part. And then there's the labor of getting up underneath there. I go, I've seen the labor. What the hell are they doing? And then they finally come up with that story, give it back to me. I have no way of knowing or proving that the connector that's on there now is not the same one that was on there before. I said, how many people in this room right now listening to this conversation are going to get screwed in such the same way? I said, it's not my first rodeo, Junior. So, look, I'm not an auto technician, no. But I know bullshit when I hear it. So I am going to spread the word about the bullshit. So, my friends, I lodged a complaint and haven't heard back from them yet. I may never hear from them. I asked for a refund. They may tell me that has nothing to do with them. I don't know. But I mentioned the exact name of the dealer, even the name of the person who rang me up and told me those lies. Conflicting stories. That's what got me. That plus being preceded by people saying, oh, don't let that dealer screw you. They'll tell you it's rocks and rats. So my good friends and possibly fellow Honda owners, if your AC becomes intermittent on you, don't let them sell you the rocks and rats story, okay? You can push them to the old PipeCat channel here. When I get an update on this, I will post it and tell you what they decide to do. But until then, you know me. I like to share the hate. Got your hate recorder on? Record this one. Just one of those things that makes you go, I'm just ready. Absolutely ready, man. So, on that, what I'm going to do now is, something tells me in the long run, I'm just a little guy, I'm one single person. I'll probably take it up the ass on this one. You all kind of know that. You mechanics that are watching have already said, oh, no, this guy's completely inaccurate in everything he just said. Okay, it's your opinion. I got mine, you got yours. That's okay. But I'm going to have the rest of my cigar now. Making videos about things helps to get it off my chest. Sharing information with friends that might affect the way they are treated by other people, like dealer mechanics, well, that's just a benefit of having a YouTube channel. These things are hard to light, man. Look at that green bastard. It's starting to crack, too. I took the label off and it began to crack. The thing about the Candela leaf is green leaf. It's also called puro, and there's other words for it, too. Basically, it's leaf not cured to the extent that most leaf is cured to, and it's very peppery, rather strong. And these, for some reason, don't stay lit well. The draw is kind of hard, but they are reasonably priced. This is Corona Cigar Company. This is a 10th anniversary Nicaraguan series. Was it Nicaraguan? I'll double check. I saved that label here. I'll show it to you. I can't even tell if that's from focus because I don't have my goddamn glasses on. Nicaraguan 10th anniversary Churchill Candela. You might like it. It's a different experience. It tastes a little more raw, a little more like hay. If you're a pipe smoker who enjoys that sort of flake flavor, that sort of hay flavor from Virginia flake or whatever, this is kind of reminiscent of that, except it's got that cigar pepper on top of it. You might just enjoy it. It's definitely a nice change, somewhat pocket friendly. So visit Corona Cigar Company and buy yourself a 10th anniversary Nicaraguan series. I can't say that word. Good thing I don't live there, huh? Nicaraguan series Candela Churchill. I bought a box of 20. So far I've gotten through about 10 of them. They're hard to smoke. They make a nice change, though. They really do. They set your palate back, so the next big diesel double perfecto or something that you smoke is going to taste good again. You won't be tired of it. All right. Thank you for listening to my bullshit. And thanks for visiting the PipeCat channel. And I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the summertime. See you in a bit.